We're going to look at the NPA norms for agricultural advances. So I'm looking at a question which appeared in May 2014, and it's a 5-mark question. And here we have been required to provide the criteria prescribed for determining the NPA norms in respect of agricultural advances. So when we are doing an audit plan for a bank, and the bank is set up in a rural area and they are giving advances to the farmers, so we need to understand the criteria for determining the non-performing assets. So when we advance loans to the farmers and they kind of don't repay it on time and it becomes overdue for a certain amount of time, then we have to recognize them as a non-performing asset. So with this aspect, we need to understand two things. One is a crop season. What is the meaning of a crop season? And two, what are the types of crop durations? So crop season is the time period required for the farmers to raise the crop and harvest them. So it can be 6 months, it can be 1 year, or it can be more than a year. So any crop season which is more than a year, it's called as a long duration crop, and any crop season which is less than a year, it's called as a short duration crop. Now these banks set up in the rural area who are giving agricultural advances, they give two kinds of loans. One is for the short duration crop, another one is for the long duration crop. So when they give it for the short duration crop and the installment of the principal and the interest remains overdue for 2 crop seasons, then that loan will be treated as a non-performing asset. And when it comes to a long duration crop loan, if the installment of the principal or the interest remains overdue for 1 crop season, then the loan will be treated as a non-performing asset. So now, what is a crop season? Who is determining the crop season? It is being determined by the state level bankers committee. Every state has this committee and they will be determining this crop season. And the NPA norms are also available to all the other agricultural term loans. And the loans which are listed in the Master Circular on Lending to Priority Sector, these norms will be made applicable. And the uh, the identification of the NPA would be done on the same basis as non-agricultural advances are done. So the non-agricultural advance at present is 90 days delinquency norm. And the last one is about the natural calamities. So in the farms in rural areas, the natural calamities are bound to happen, like floods, drought, which is not in the control of the farmers, which is not predicted in advance. So the farmers will lose their capacity to repay the loan because they can't harvest the crops as expected. So in those situations, RBI covers them under their guidelines, and they enable the banks to even give the farmers short-term loans to overcome such calamities, or they can also reschedule the repayment period, or it can also convert the short-term production loan into term loans. So this is pretty much about the NPA norms in respect of agriculture advances in the bank audit.